Hello, we're looking at problem number 2 found on page 630 of your Geometry Part 2 textbook. This is in lesson 10.3. And what we're looking at today, before we actually get to problem 2 here, to find the area of a regular polygon, let's look at the note right above it on how to do that. It says the area of a regular polygon is half the product of the apothem and the perimeter. Okay, so here's the formula written out. Here it is in words. Here it is in formula. The area is equal to 1/2 the apothem, which is the A part, times the P, which is the perimeter. Now remember, the apothem is the distance from the center of the regular polygon out to perpendicular to any one of the sides. That right there is the apothem. Now, the perimeter would be, of course, the distance around the particular object. Now, they're showing a hexagon, but it could be an octagon or a pentagon or any of the other ones, okay? But we have to understand the concept of an apothem, and then, of course, perimeter, I think you probably already know, is the distance around something, okay? Now, if that's true, then I need to know two things when I look at a regular polygon. I need to know, again, its perimeter, and I'm going to need to know its apothem. And in this particular one, in problem 2 here, this example, if I'm trying to find the area of a regular decagon, which is a 10-sided figure over here at the right, then of course I'm going to use, first of all, I need to find the perimeter, because remember, there's two things I need to know if I'm going to use that formula. Because remember, the overall formula is 1/2 the perimeter times, the apothem times the perimeter. Let me erase that and write that a little bit better. The apothem times the perimeter. My apothem is given right here, but my perimeter is not. However, this is given. Well, again, because a decagon has 10 sides, it's 8 here, it's 8 here, it's 8 here, and I'm not going to go all the way around. But you're going to simply multiply 10 by 8, which is what they're doing right here. And therefore, you're going to get that the perimeter, or the distance around that decagon, ends up being 80 inches, because it's 10 times around there. Okay. Now that we know that, we're going to end up plugging that in right there for the perimeter. So let's just use the formula that we know we have. Area is equal to 1/2 the apothem, and that, again, the apothem was given right there. It's 12.3. And then we found the perimeter in step 1, which was 80. And from this point, you literally just plug it into your calculator, and you're going to end up with 492. Now, because we're talking about area, then because we're talking, again, area is always in squared units. So the answer is 492, but we would need to write it using units as 492 inches squared. All right, so let's quickly look at the two got it sections here. I'll pull this down just a little bit so that we can see it more center and erase some of this. All right, now on problem number 2A, what is the area of a regular pentagon with an 8 centimeter apothem and 11.6 centimeter sides? Now, you don't have to draw a pentagon. I'm just drawing it so that I can visually talk about it. But if you're given the apothem and you're given one of the sides, as long as you know what a pentagon is, which happens to be 5-sided, then again, step 1 is you're going to have to find the perimeter of this pentagon. And remember, the word regular means they're the same all the way around. So that would be 11.6, and you would have to multiply that by 5 because there's 5 of them. Well, that gives you 58 when you do that. So the perimeter of this particular pentagon is going to be 58. So now I just resort back to my formula. Area is 1/2. The apothem is given right here, which is 8. And then the perimeter we just found above is 58. And again, using your calculator, if you multiply 1/2 times 8 times 58, you end up with 232. And because this was in centimeters this time, my answer is going to be centimeters squared. And the way that we get that is that one's centimeters and that one's centimeters. And centimeters times centimeters is centimeters squared. But an easy way to know is anytime you have area, it's going to be squared units of some kind. It'll be squared centimeters, squared inches, squared miles, squared whatever. But in this case, it was squared centimeters. Okay? So let's look. This other one's just reasoning. If the side of a regular polygon is reduced to half of its length, what does the perimeter of the polygon change? So what I'm saying is if this became 5.8, which is what half of 11.6 is, then it's going to also half your perimeter. Okay? Because if each side is half, that's a half, 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 half. Then when you multiply, and you could prove that by taking 5.8 and multiplying that one by 5, and you're going to end up with 29, which is half of the original area. So that would be a great explanation for how that works. I hope this was helpful.